What is up, everybody? We are back. We're here to talk about the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Hope everybody had a good week at the Travelers Championship. This is one of those weeks where you have to find a little extra motivation. You know, we went from a signature event to the U.S. Open to another signature event, and now we have a very weak field at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Going to be one of the easiest courses on the PGA Tour. The last 5 years, it's ranked 43rd, 38th, 40th, 38th, 42nd in terms of difficulty, the winning score. During that time frame, the average is about 23 under par. The fairways here are wide. Greens are very easy to hit. The course is pretty short for a par 72. It's only 7,370 yards. Now, I do think we're going to see it play a little bit longer this year just because the conditions of the course are expected to be very soft. We have some rain, potential rain in the forecast as well. And that's going to make the fairways wider. It's going to make the greens bigger. It's going to make, hitting fairways and greens easier. It's also going to favor the bombers a little bit more than usual. This is a very driver-heavy course. We have seen some bombers play well here in the past, but it's short enough that you don't have to be a bomber to contend if you are, good with your putter, good with your long irons. But I do think bombing could end up playing a big role this week. Not a lot to hit on when it comes to the course, other than you're going to have to make a lot of birdies. I think the winning score could approach 30 under par this week. So I'm looking at birdie better percentage, total driving, strokes gained off the tee, maybe a little bit of distance, strokes gained putting, strokes gained approach. And then if you do use the rabbit hole, which we have a deal with them if you do want to sign up, the link should be in the description. You can look at strokes gained on easy par 72s. You can look strokes gained on driver heavy courses, and I will have those featured here in the model breakdown. So let's get right into it. Pretty straightforward week for me. 12% weight total to off the tee metrics. We have 13% to approach. Very small weight to around the green just because these greens are easy to hit, so there's going to be fewer scrambling opportunities. Don't mind bumping up putting a little bit this week because more often than not, when it's a birdie fest, you tend to see it turn into a putting contest. Pretty high weight to birdie or better, pretty low weight to bogey avoidance. We have course history only at 4%. I don't think you need to have like great course history if you do, in order to play well this week. We have easy par 72 courses. Again, this is from the rabbit hole on FSperts. Taylor Moore's number one, Yeager, Eric Cole, Nick Dunlap, Keith Mitchell. That's over the last 2 years. Strokes gained. This is supposed to say driver heavy courses. We have Yeager, Akshay, Tom Kim, SH Kim, and Alex Noren kind of leading the way there. Then we have the form. I have a little bit skewed to short term, but just because I do think these birdie fests, the short term form means a little bit more than the long term form. When it comes to like majors and difficult courses, I tend to weigh a little bit more towards the long term. Let's get into the player pool. I have about 40 notes this week if you want to check those out. So at the very top, you have Tom Kim. Now, he's a very interesting decision point for a few reasons. Number one, he's only 12-1 and 14-1 in the outright market. That's not the same we've seen for most favorites this year. Scheffler's usually 3 to 4-1. If Scheffler's not on the field, there's usually somewhere between 6 and 10-1. So we're not getting like as much win equity as usual for the most expensive golfer in the field. On top of that, we're not getting any ownership discount. He's going to be close to 40% owned. He's coming off of a week where he played great, but might be taxing. I mean, he lost in a playoff to his friend Scotty Scheffler. That's got to be a little bit taxing. Now, on top of that, this is his 9th week in a row, as you can see here. So there are reasons to pay Tom Kim. He missed a cut here last year. I don't think this course sets up nearly as well for him as last week's course, just because I do think it's going to play very long. Doesn't mean he can't gain a bunch of strokes with his irons. Doesn't mean he's not going to hit a lot of fairways. But, yeah, he's not a must-play for me. I'll probably come in maybe half the ownership of this, and I think I'm going to fade him in single-entry stuff. Alex Noren rates out number 2 in the model. No issue with him. He did miss a cut the last time out, but the last time he missed a cut, bounced back with the T22. He's got back-to-back top 10s here. Pendrith is one of my favorite plays of the week. My 3 favorite bets going to be Pendrith, going to be Matt McNeely, and going to be Steven Yeager. I will talk about all three of them here. So Pendrith picked up a win in Texas on a driver-heavy course, on an easy course. He's followed it up with 5 top 35s in his last 6 starts, and most of these have been signature events in the U.S. Open. And he's got a second and 14th here. If you remember back to 2022, he was in that battle with Tony Finau. Ultimately, didn't get the job done, but now he knows how to win. So I love him at 9,600. Keith Mitchell's rating out really well for me. He is top 5 in this field in total driving, strokes gained off the tee, and strokes gained approach. The problem is he can't chip or putt, but it's getting a little bit better. He's chipping better over the last 4 tournaments. He green putting in his last time out, so maybe he can get it going a little bit. Davis Thompson, a guy that just gains strokes across the board, doesn't really have a weakness. I think he makes sense in all formats. He's only 8,300, projects really well for me. Also love Matt McNeely. He's finished T8, T21 here. He's been playing great. He hasn't missed a cut since January. Coming off of a T7 at the RBC Canadian Open where he got off to a disastrous start on Thursday. Didn't look like he was going to make the cut. Ended up finishing in the top 10. If you look at his numbers, he's been good off the tee, around the green, and putting. And over his last 5 events, he's been very good on approach. He's gained 8 strokes during that time. So I do think Matt McNeely, good spot for him. Aaron Rise, great iron player, no issue with him. Akshay, he's been playing great, 22nd, 16th, 8th. Similar to Tom Kim, he has been playing a ton of golf. This will be his 8th week in a row. Did miss the cut here last year. Doesn't project as some of the guys in the 8s for me. So I won't get to that 32%. I'll have a little bit. Same goes for Cam Young. I mean, he's had one good round in the last 3 months. It was 59 last week. And he did have a second place finish here. I do love the course fit for him, but it's tough to ask 10-7 and 25%, just given the fact that he's had one good tournament, one good round really in the last few months. Steven Yeager, so he won earlier this year as well, also in Texas, also on a driver heavy course, also on an easy course. You look at his course history, back-to-back top 10s here. And he's gaining strokes everywhere except with the putter. And he's shown that he can gain on the green. So I do think it's a good spot for Yeager. Again, he rates out really well in the easy part 72s, rates out really well in the driver-heavy courses because he's one of the better drivers of the ball on tour these days. Ben Griffin rating that well, surprising me a little bit. Same goes for Mark Hubbard. I don't mind being early to Dor Bjornsson. Just turned pro, finished T41 in the Travelers. He's one of the longest hitters, might be the longest hitter in the field. So I do think this course is going to set up well for him. And he actually played here as an amateur in 2022. So we've seen the course before. EVR rating out well. I never know what to do with that. Justin Lower, I mean, 6,500 for him. So I was looking at his numbers. He's gained on approach in 14 of his last 15. He's finished, T8 and T30 here. I don't think he's going to be 1% owned, especially if anybody's using this model because I'll probably have about 20%. Matt Wallace seems like a good Matt Wallace course. He's got some good course history here. Minwoo Lee doesn't project well. The problem is his stats just aren't good. He only plays in like really quality fields, so he's not going to get the same stats as everyone else. But the driver's elite, and he can gain strokes putting. The approach game is not good, but we kind of see this was kind of a similar skill set that Bryson had when he won here. So I could see Minwoo contending for sure. I like him better than I have him rated. Again, this is all number based. This is all objective. Nothing done on my end. So I'll probably end up bumping him up. Maybe even 10% boost, just to get a little bit more exposure to him. We have Doug Kim at 69. Hasn't been playing the best, but that's a good price point. Chan Kim hasn't played in a few weeks, but he's the guy that can pop in these weaker field events. Chris Kirk has a good course history, but bad recent form. Svensson just continues to make cuts and continue to not show a lot of upside. He did finish T15 last week, so maybe you can find a little bit of something. No issue with Nate Lashley, who's won here before. Don't have a strong take on McIntyre, Hisatsune. Zalatoris at 9,200 seems a bit steep. I mean, he hasn't finished in the top 40 for quite a while. We know he doesn't like, birdie fest because the putter has always been an issue. So, look, the talent's there, but I want to see him prove it first before I play him at this price point and ownership. I will quickly sort by ratings per dollar. And then again, if you want to, get my thoughts on everybody, you can go through and read all of these notes when you download the model, available for premium members. So, I talked about Lower, Chan Kim, Lashley, Doug Kim, Bridgman rates out well. Now, the thing to keep in mind is while all of the best point per dollar options are in the sixes, it doesn't mean they're good golfers. It just means that the field is so bad that the model is naturally comparing them to weaker golfers than usual, right? So Chan Kim, if you would have played last week, he'd probably have a rating of around 30. But since this field is so weak, there's not a lot of competition. His stats naturally look so much better. Like he's not a top 15 strokes gained approach player on tour, but he is in this field, so he's naturally going to get bumped up. So I don't think, again, I don't think I'm going to have a ton of Tom Kim this week because I do like the balance field. It's a lot better. I love that 8K range, like getting as much exposure to it as I can. And that'll do it for this week. As always, thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. Even if you're not an RG Premium member, I appreciate you watching this video each week. Helps us a lot. So, yeah, best of luck, and we will catch you next week. Can't remember what tournament it is, but the Open Championship right around the corner. So good luck, everybody. See you next week.